So joining us from the United Kingdom via Skype is a political strategist, Mr. Tokunbo Olorudami. Thank you for joining us on Polstream.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so there's been so much talk about the election process on social media, but as a management expert, what are your thoughts?
I think I want to agree with most of the narrative generally, and what you will obviously see is that these are the people who are involved, in the process, and they are saying what they will want to have. And that's basically how you map improvement processes, I would say INEC dearly needs some form of process re-engineering to introduce new items and eliminate, some of the failing points that we've seen in recent times. Election is a process. It starts with registration of voters, updating voters register and all of that. And that's a process in effect. But then within that process, as you map, what is around the processes, you begin to, bring to the fore some of the challenges, and you can eliminate them. For example, I wonder if INEC take the time. When I registered to get my PVC, nobody told me, okay, this is a sample of a voting paper. And there's an opportunity. You use each touch point to educate people. So every time an INEC official comes in contact with a potential voter, you use that chance to educate them. There are more political parties now. It's a lot more confusing. The space is smaller. I wonder what the numbers will be like, for a vote. I think it's becoming more complicated, and we need a lot more newer thoughts around it. We need to make it more smoother, better, easily accessible to all Nigerians.
Now, as much as all eyes are on INEC at this point, which is understandable, well, they are not alone in this process, I must say. I mean, they have to work with security agencies, transport agencies, finance, intelligence, and the rest. So how do you think this relationship can be more seamless in order to deliver a much more, do I say, seamless electioneering process?
Kayode, I couldn't agree more with you. You see, there's this thing I noticed with the interagency collaboration. There's no synergy. Is what I will, in management, we call it silo mentality. There seems to be a fence between all the agencies that are meant to be working together. A typical example, look at the polling booths where you have a policeman struggling with several people who are damaging government property. That's a felony. That's a criminal offense. He was single-handedly trying to stop so many of them. There's no synergy. If there was synergy, and what I mentioned before, process re-engineering will bring out some of these challenges. I saw when Olu Phillips, a while ago was mapping the point where the crime of burning ballot papers in Lagos happened. The distance to the nearest police station was about 2 minutes, 43 seconds, and that is with traffic. But during the election, there wasn't any traffic, so they could literally have responded within a minute. So you can see there's no synergy, but it seems these agencies are fenced against each other. But if INEC can bring all the stakeholders, including you guys and INEC and other agencies, to the table and map this process to say, how can we improve on this? And with over 189 billion spent on this election, I think it's really a slap on the face of all Nigerians to see that this kind of very abysmally not so good election is delivered. Now, but with the interest of people being increased now, I think the collaboration and as we go on will improve.
Now, don't you think it's still too early, a bit too early to, as it were, rate INEC on this election?
I think it's not too early. Why? Because they've already cancelled elections. We still had delays in elections, so it's not too early. It's a real-time assessment that most people have done. We've looked at how some of the ad hoc staff were treated. There's a lot of logistic blunders that has been committed. You employ people to help conduct election, and you just commit them to the field without any form of, it's a holistic package. we can say real time that INEC, there are windows that is we think we can improve on. But you see, INEC is not existing in isolation from the entire Nigerian system. It's a systemic problem. And it's only coming out. But if Channels Television can put up the VR I saw yesterday, or was it earlier today, fantastic, news reporting, I'm like, wow, is this CNN or what? If channels can do that, INEC should be able to put their acts together, get the right people to do the job. So it's not too late, it's not too early. We do it as we go. It's a lean, agile process that they need to employ. They need to employ a process that they are incrementally, constantly improving on the system and getting things right on the field. Because it's a dynamic space, you understand?
All right, so I've heard about the concept actually called voter performance, which is used to measure how well voters cover their own part of the bargain. What does that really mean, and how does it apply here?
You see, voter performance, it encompasses the generality of the behavior of the voters, how... Are you hearing me?
Yes,
what would you? Go on.
Ahead.
Okay, yes. The general behavior of the voters as they go out to vote, how they carry themselves, how they react to scenarios and circumstances that come up while voting. The Nigerian space is not any different, In the UK here, you hardly find any issue. People just walk in and walk out, do their voting, and get on with their life. It's within 2-3 minutes, you're done. In Nigeria, let's look at some of the issues that we've recently seen on TV and on the social media. You see voters attacking policemen. You see voters attacking people. Taking the laws into their hands. I would expect that voters they be able to bring themselves together, organize themselves, and make a citizen arrest instead of killing somebody. Some of the videos we've seen, it does not really, say much about the general voting attitude of Nigerians. We need to be civil, understand that we're carrying out, our responsibilities as citizens of Nigeria, and we shouldn't be looking to kill other people in the process. And this also goes to the guys who go about, taking money from politicians to either go attack because your party is not both winning. You then think, okay, let's make a mess of the situation. We still need a lot of education, and we need a lot of synergy with the agencies that are involved. I mean, the police, I don't know how some of what we have seen, come to materialize. For example, that instance, I can't get away from it, where just one policeman was responding to several situations. It doesn't speak well. We should have actions and consequences. If, for example, the process and the engineering I was talking about happens, you'll find that each polling booth will have somebody who's assigned to a polling booth, and he will be able to, give account per time, about his beats, hourly account about what's happened, what has not happened, and general performance of citizens as well,
So, Mr. Tokunbo, pardon me to button at this point. Well, we have the governorship election in a few weeks, and time is really of the essence. And we're looking forward to, rectifying some of those issues we saw during the presidential and National Assembly elections in the second half of the election. So, in your opinion, what do you think we can do between now and then to ensure that some of these things don't repeat themselves?
A lot can be done. A whole lot can be done. And
you could tell us too, for a start.
Yes, I will. I'll get to that in a minute. This is like, like a trial session for INEC. In a way, it is. And I think the local election will be a lot more troublesome because it's local. These people are locally based, and you will see a lot more fraction and intensity in this. So, for instance, policemen should be assigned to every polling unit. Every single polling unit.
Well, according to the Nigerian Police Force, isn't that what we have at this point?
Moment, exactly.
But I mean, we have seen that that is not the situation. And if that is not the situation, then who is responsible for abandoning their duty post? And when the consequences are following some of this ineptitude and lackadaisical attitude to duty, you will see that people will sit up. I give you a very typical example of one of the key things that must happen. We need to increase the layer of security around the ballot box. a situation where the ballot box is just there on the floor and somebody can stroll in and really just pick it up and walk away, it doesn't speak well. I think we need to find existing structures that can become polling units where people, a layer of security basically. The policemen who are holding guns should be at the outer layer. The ones with bayonets and sticks should be in the inner layer. And at the core, you should have maybe civil defense people who are a lot more civil, helping to organize the space. And then the ballot box should be in a building. At least those who are coming would think twice, thinking, okay, I have several layers of security to get through, to be able to get to this election. You know? And we've done the costing for it.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. I hope we'll have you soon again to talk more, Mr. Tokunbo Olorodami. Thank you so much. He's been talking to us from the United Kingdom. He's a political strategist. Thanks a lot for your time on Pollstream.